Some people kind of sometimes infer that people have put drugs in my food without me knowing, because I wouldn't knowingly take them. And I'm just wondering, I mean, I was stood in the factory years ago, about 1988, I was working in this factory, and I stood looking down this factory, and the roof was rippling, and so were the walls. I thought it was because I was so unhappy, and I was tired, but I was operating overhead cranes in that factory, you know, with about 2.5 tons of steel on. And I could never remember which was north, east, south and west, and which way the factory was orientated. So if they put something in my food like that as well, well, it would have been ironic if it was their dad or their son that accidentally pinned against the wall with 2.5 tons of steel, because it would have killed him. But then possibly they're too stoned to think that, or whatever, or possibly don't understand physics as well as me and don't realise just how heavy the pickup plates I was making were, and how close to other employees I got with them. So I had to put them in the rack on the end of the next jig for the next bloke to put into the jig to assemble the rest of the trailer. And that was the thing. You know, I mean, there were times when he and I would lift the lower half of a trailer. It didn't have a chassis. It was like a monocoque, a modern one. Well, one type of trailer. Yeah, it didn't have a chassis, but obviously we'd lift the whole bottom end. I think there were 5 tons. And we'd lift it complete, right, just about up to the roof of the factory, and took it right down the factory over people's workstations and stuff. They'd get out the way, but if I'd been doing that and somebody spiked me food, I could have easily killed someone with that. I mean, I was very wary all the time of those overhead cranes. I didn't like operating them. One of the lads said to me, don't switch the power on and off when you're lifting that end, because it's jolting the chains and they could snap. And they could have done. I hadn't thought of that, but I was very wary of it. I did not like the idea of being anywhere near that half a trailer when it was up in the air. I was really uncomfortable with that, because obviously I know how hard it could have landed on me. But I mean, some people, if they think it's a joke to put drugs in the workmates' food and stuff like that, and they could be operating cranes with flipping 30 or 40 or 100-ton locomotive on it, because they do that in works like that. Yeah, in the works, yeah. They had it was a photograph in the 80s of one of the latest works, and they could literally pick a train off its bogies, a locomotive off its bogies, and it could be in excess of 100 tons. If that landed on you, you'd be dead.